All right. Welcome everybody to the Hostile Therapy Podcast with your host, Big Red, and got with me tonight who's going to comment on possibly some controversial comments and say ideas, Keys Ali.
Yo, what's going on, man?
I can't call it, man. It is Thursday. Week's almost over with. I'm struggling to get to Saturday. I think I'm almost across the finish line. How's your week going?
It's going all right, man. It's going all right. Like you said, almost to the finish line. My daughter's birthday on Sunday. You see me keep looking down because I'm trying to get this IG live going. I think I'm going to say forget it. Well, my daughter's birthday Sunday, so we're going to have a great weekend.
Oh, yeah? How is she going to be?
She's going to be turning, when you asked me on the spot, 12.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a question that you should have to think that hard on the spot. It's not like when your bill is due. Like,
it's rough.
You asked me on the spot when the anniversary is. I think she's gonna be 12. So if she's 12, and you know, and that she's almost a teenager.
Yeah.
So that means she's about to be 21 in teenager years, because they say 13. But it's really 20 to 30 something years old, because you can't tell them nothing at that age.
She told me the other day, it was around down the road. She was like, people think I'm like 15, Dad. Oh. And I was like, you need to tell me who those people are. You know, make a list, text it to me, and let me talk to them real quick. Exactly.
Real quick.
Exactly.
All right. Tell us, man, where you come from, man, and what do you do on the side of podcasting? Tell us what you do, man. What's your experience?
Well, I'm from upstate South Carolina, 864 stand up, man. You know, I love my state. You right up the street from us in a way. When it comes to podcasting, man, I've been podcasting off and on for about 4 or 5 years. I had a podcast called Just Another Week Podcast with my partner, Carter, T. Mike, and Shylin Flowers. We did that, man. We started that podcast right around the time the Joe Budden podcast started. And we was kind of trying to go neck and neck with them, you know, learning along the way. We ended up taking a break from that. And since then, man, I'm producing a podcast that goes by the name of What's on the Plate, where she goes around, and she's a foodie. So basically she goes from restaurant to restaurant, trying out the food, telling people what she thinks about it. She has this thing called Amanda Tries, where she actually goes and tries different recipes, and she cooks them, throws them up for people to critique, and actually puts the recipe out as well for you can try. So I work on that. I also work with a podcasting network by the name of I Say Podcast Network. I guess you say I'm a creative consultant over there, where I'm making anything from their promos, helping them plan their next shows, write their next shows. I guess say my project that I'm working on over there is called Whose Man Is This? That's with Cassie Ray and my guy Shot from the Floor. It's pretty much a battle of the sexes, man. So they throw up a topic in the middle, and you have your woman's input from it, and you have your man's input from it. It's very, very exciting. And other than that, man, I've been doing a lot of interviews with the Ali and Smoke Carolina playlist. Whether it is artists from North Carolina and South Carolina, we find 8 of our favorite songs for that 2-week time period. We find us a feature artist. We interview that feature artist and put that content out, and put that playlist out. So I got my hands in a little bit of everything that's around this way.
Yeah, you stay busy, man.
Got to, man. Got to.
So on the podcast one with the battle of the sexes.
Yeah.
Do the men ever win the battle? Because
I'm gonna say this, man.
Experience in real life.
We don't win because of Shy. We don't win because of Shy from the Fort. If he watches this, if he's watching right now, it's his fault, man. Cass, she's a strong woman. She knows what she's talking about, and she hits him over the head almost every week, man. Almost every week. But it's a great show, man. Like you said, the women are always going to win when it comes down to it. But Shy, he stands up for us. He stands up for us. He tries.
Okay. All right. Let's go and dive straight into this now. Had a conversation with a few people over this past weekend. As you know, Juneteenth, new federal holiday, another reason to get time and a half, get paid, and be off.
Exactly.
You know, that new holiday came in. It's been a holiday that's been celebrated for at least 100 years or so. Yeah. But now it's federal holiday. People get paid for it now. Juneteenth.
They call it the Juneteenth National Independence Day.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
See, that's the thing. See, I don't know how it doesn't make me feel that excited to hear it. And I know there's a lot of people that was like, what is wrong with you? This is celebrating the liberation of African Americans who were enslaved into chattel slavery for 400 or some odd years. And I had to think about it. And here's why I'm not that excited about it. Okay, let me throw some things out.
Okay.
When someone is a door greeter at Walmart and they say, Merry Christmas, how does that make you feel?
It's just another day. It's just another greeting.
Day? Okay, but majority of people, they probably, they get all giddy inside, like, Merry Christmas to you too, because, we're celebrating being with family and giving gifts selfishly to people and saying, forget Jesus, it's not your time right now. It's all about us, let's go with Valentine's Day, another holiday. People exchanging gifts, expressing the love between one another, getting mad or loving the person they got a gift from because it wasn't good enough for them.
Correct.
It's supposed to make them feel good inside. St. Patrick's Day is not our holiday, but people celebrate. They go get drunk, they get happy and stuff, whatever. Thanksgiving, people come together, they eat all kinds of food. Thanksgiving, chitlins, a barbecue,
Hold on, chitlins. You eat chitlins?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Just make sure we hear.
No, I was forced to as a youngin', and I was forced to love it because my grandmother said I had to. So yeah, it was one of those deals.
Gotcha.
But when I grew up and became liberated by Independence Day, adulthood, I stopped eating that. So, but yeah, you family come together. They watch the football games.
Yeah,
great feeling. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, you tell me happy Thanksgiving because you're going to get the same feeling that you get in your family. You get to see long lost cousins you hadn't seen in a while. 4th of July, Independence Day, sparklers, barbecue, drinking, whatever. A bunch of stuff. Make people happy. Okay. Memorial Day celebration of the people who fought for the country. The fallen ones who died to fight for the country. Juneteenth.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Juneteenth comes around, and I'm thinking about this. If I go to Walmart, right? I get my barbecue salmon that I've been getting lately because I'm not usually a salmon person, but lately there's this salmon with barbecue sauce is entrenched into the salmon. It tastes delicious. Get there, good. Cook it in my air fryer, 12 minutes. I recommend it. I get it. I purchase it. I go to the door. The door greeter looks at me. Happy Juneteenth. The person who says it has to be of the Caucasian, makeup. And I'm like, Happy Juneteenth. What does that mean when it comes to you? And what does that mean for me? Typically, when people think of Happy Juneteenth, whether it's right or wrong, it's the freeing of slaves, right?
Yep.
What does it mean to when a white person says it? Congratulations, we let you go.
That's basically what it says.
And they may not be everybody. I don't want to generalize, but that's what it feels like. Like, congratulations, we let you free. You ever seen them? You remember the 90s? I know you're old enough. You remember the 90s, right? Remember this movie? Michael Jackson made a hit song to it called Free Willy. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. It was about a stupid killer whale who got caught from the ocean, and he was made to do tricks. He was treated bad and stuff. And then this little blonde-haired kid came and said, "Oh, I feel sorry for him. He should be in the ocean. He should be free. He shouldn't have to be doing tricks and stuff." And him and a couple other Indian people freed him. Yeah. And, the whale jumped over him, and the little kid was looked at as the hero, as a savior. It was almost more about the kid than the whale.
Oh, man,
the whale had no speaking parts. The whale had no speaking parts in there. He was not a star of the movie. And to me, that's what Juneteenth feels like. It's like, celebrate the accomplishment that we let y'all go because you were once captive like an animal.
Yeah.
So we should feel happy that y'all showed us some grace and let us free.
Hey, and Joe Biden is the little white kid.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a Photoshop that. That is a great idea. I'm gonna Photoshop that picture. He's gonna be right there, and there's gonna be black people jumping over his head.
It should be Terry Crews.
Terry
Crews should be diving over his head.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. So that's just been my feeling about it, man. And I know that's not what the holiday is supposed to represent. And also, let's put this in perspective. Let's say we just are celebrating that slaves were free. Okay. Free to what exactly? You got free, but you got. You ever heard the vagrancy laws?
No, I haven't heard that.
Okay. There were vagrancy laws put into place to where if you were found without a home, homeless on the street, which what slaves didn't have a home to necessarily go to because they just got freed. If you were found without a place to live, you were put in prison. This started the prison, the complex prison system that's going on today. What happened was when people were locked up, farmers, sharecroppers would go and pay their bond and say, I'll pay you this much to free him, but you got to work on my farm and work the debt off. And see, the problem with that is, and this is going to sound bad, slaves were at least looked at as property, an asset. Asset has value, right? So you don't want to kill your asset. You want to keep your asset healthy enough to work the farm that you have.
To turn a profit for you.
Right. But if you're only going to be bought for a year or two, they didn't have to really take care of you like that. They could give you some corn. They could have you living in frigid conditions or a hot condition where they could have you sleeping on the ground. They didn't have to care because your time was going to be up pretty soon. They didn't even care if you died or not. As an asset, they cared at least if you died, at least a little bit, unless they found you did something wrong in their eyes. So in turn, that was worse. That was worse than slavery almost. So and then the Voting Rights Acts, people couldn't go out to vote because slavery, they were prevented from learning how to read. It was illegal. You could get killed. Now you're out. You don't know how to read. And they had rules in place where you had to pass a reading test. And if you couldn't pass a certain amount of, reading proficiency, you couldn't vote. Yeah. Or again, if you didn't have a home, you couldn't vote. So it's like, what are you getting free to? I mean, I ain't even gone deep into it, but that's just the little things.
Yeah.
So I don't see how you could be too excited about something you're free, but free to what?
Yeah, it's just a setup. It felt like a setup, especially the way that you described it just now. This is a complete setup, man. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna celebrate Juneteenth. My friends and family that's around me, I think over the last maybe year or two, maybe 3 years, as far as back as I go, people have been having little kickbacks, little cookouts. We get together for Juneteenth. Yeah. But now that it's a national holiday, it's just like it's like almost like a underground rapper.
Right.
You get all the hard bars, everything is dope. As soon as they go commercial, you kind of like, man, you lost the flavor. You lost what you were going for. To me, that's how I look at Juneteenth, man. It's just like it was cool, but now that it's like nationalized, it's kind of just like, to me, it's just another day, man. But I have friends and I have family that say they will not celebrate the 4th of July. They will only celebrate Juneteenth.
That makes sense, though.
Does it?
Not to celebrate 4th of July? Yes.
Not to celebrate 4th of July. How?
Yeah, not to celebrate. Yeah, because it won't for us.
It's for our country, though. Our great America. This is still all of our country at the end of the day. We had to be freed.
It wasn't our country because it was still 3/5 of a human then.
I get that.
According to them, that was not even like just a saying. That was put into ratification. That was the law.
I get it, but now that's no longer the law.
Right.
We can move freely. We're doing something right now, on our free will in America. So I mean, you have to celebrate. We have a land. We have the land from July the 4th and able to grow on, and we can grow on that. That's just how I look at it. I celebrate the 4th of July because I'm an American. Other countries, we don't have the rights and freedoms that we have to even be on YouTube or be on anything talking how we want to talk. saying what we want to say, saying how we feel. So you have to celebrate your freedoms, right?
Okay. If that's what it represents. Okay, I get if that's what it represents. If it's just about the celebration, 4th of July, the celebration of Americans' independence.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. But it's Juneteenth, the celebration of that.
I can't get. I just can't get with it. To me, it's a corporate game.
Right.
Old Navy is going to have the best Juneteenth sale next year. Flip flops, tank tops, and all 50% off.
Funny you should mention that. Funny you should mention that. You ever heard of a place called IKEA?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite stores. Please don't say nothing bad about IKEA, man. I just met you, man. Don't do me like that.
Well, okay. Well, it seems June 23rd, IKEA has apologized after employees protest over Juneteenth menu with fried chicken and watermelon added to it. They didn't like the particular menu. Someone came together in one of the meetings and said, you know what? I feel for our Black brethrens, and I think we're going to add chicken and watermelon to the mix because we don't need to ask. We automatically know. We watched enough movies from satire from the 1930s from blackface, so we automatically know what they need. We don't need to watch up-to-date stuff. That's all they like. Let's add pig's feet and chitlins to it while we're at it.
Seriously though, like what could they add to that menu that wouldn't offend someone?
That's a good question.
See, you love chicken. You like salmon now and chicken.
I love it to death. But you don't supposed to admit it though.
If it's Cinco de Mayo, you got tacos and tequila. Yep. So for Juneteenth, you can't have watermelon and chicken.
No. You gotta have like let's see, what's a good place to go to? What's a bad place to go to for chicken? You can't go to a stereotypical place for chicken. If you're gonna make baked chicken, see, I guarantee you they had fried chicken on the menu. You gotta make baked healthy chicken.
Who eats baked chicken?
I eat baked chicken. But I spice it up though a whole lot.
Yeah, but you eat baked chicken because your grandma made you eat chitlins when you was a kid, man. I mean, it all goes together.
Kind of, I don't eat them no more though, but I still eat that chicken though.
Yeah.
I don't eat watermelon.
I don't either.
Yeah.
It gives me indigestion. I don't like that.
No, I don't eat it because I don't like people staring at me and like, look at him eating that damn.
But what's the right thing to do? If IKEA did that wrong, what's the right way for corporate America to celebrate our freedom?
Just don't make no food.
So
you don't gotta make no food. Bring pizza.
That's Italian.
It was a Bank of America, but I'm still gonna go. But no, they don't have to bring that. Bring some hamburgers in. Who's that going to offend? Indians?
Away from food. Stepping away from food. How do we sell it? How does Old Navy or Belks, how do they celebrate Juneteenth?
Okay, for one, have a Black person represent when they make the party. Don't make the CEO of IKEA represent it because it's just automatically going to look bad. Because the difference between you bringing chicken and Biden bringing chicken is a big difference. It just doesn't look right. Looking from the eyesight, it doesn't look right. The picture doesn't look right. Have a representative. Do they have Black people on their board? Because you remember that controversy. I don't know if you remember that controversy probably about 3 years ago, where it was I can't remember the name of the clothing line. It was a little clothing line where they had a Black kid on it, and they had a monkey or something on it.
H&M, right? H&M. And they didn't read the room,
right? And they didn't have any Black representatives on the board, and they didn't have somebody they could ask. Do you think this is a good idea? Nah, we don't need any Black representatives. I'm pretty sure this is the right idea to do. Go forth with it. But I kind of have to blame the mom in that too, because
I'm saying she was cool with it. So I mean, can we really be mad at H&M? I mean, they don't make big boy sizes, so I don't really go into that much. But yeah, it makes sense.
That money will make people cool with anything.
You got a point. How did you celebrate Juneteenth though, man?
I just ate. I ate chicken and watermelon. No.
I had tacos.
See, that's cool. See, I mean, no, we can do it. They just can't do it. You know, it's almost like the N-word. Like, okay, we can say it, but you can't say that.
Got a point.
You know, just don't say it. Stay away from it. They can say hey, or that's my friend in other ways. They don't have to use that. And so they can find other ways to celebrate Juneteenth. My problem is, how do you do that? Like, I don't know how to feel a white person saying, as a greeter, happy Juneteenth. How am I supposed to feel about that?
We should go to our Mexican brothers, ask them how they feel about Cinco de Mayo when everybody's drunk downtown with their whatever they call sombreros, whatever those hats call, and their tequila, Taberos, saying, hey, amigo. I mean, we got to figure out how to take it from them because they've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, and I can see that, but we got more of a stain that goes against us right now. Okay. And I'm gonna pause right quick. We're gonna have someone going to talk. We got someone on the line named Aaron. Let me let her call and talk right quick. All right, Aaron, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. What's your opinion on how to celebrate Juneteenth?
I think leave the food out. I agree. Leave the food out because we're not about to celebrate with some underseasoned food.
Nice.
Number two, how about every single year the government, as a part of Juneteenth, remove some form of systemic injustice from our governmental system to help improve justice and equity, not equality, equity.
There you go.
Get rid of these subprime loans. Go through and evaluate the laws within neighborhoods, these older neighborhoods that are slowly trying to keep African Americans out. Historically, if you look at cities like New Orleans, Los Angeles, look at the rezoning, Detroit, even here in North Carolina, we're dealing with it. Some folks like to call it gentrification, but gentrification is a form of systemic racism because you look at the neighborhoods that it most impacts. The quote unquote generational wealth that we should have, we don't have because the gentrification of neighborhoods is slowly increasing the tax rate so that the wealth that these families hold is no longer valid. They're having to move out, get subprime loans to move into neighborhoods where we can't afford housing and aren't necessarily welcome.
I agree with everything you have to say with that, Aaron.
I agree with what she has to say, but I don't think it's realistic.
It's realistic.
It's not realistic, man.
Why is it not realistic?
Because the way our government is set up, man, what she's asking for, I guess, is reparations in so many words. And it's going to have to go through this person and this person and that person to happen. And we don't even have anything passed for Black rights. I mean, we gonna talk about that later, but there's nothing on the books for us. I mean, Juneteenth, the holiday, yay, you know. But outside of that, there's nothing on the books for us. So it's going to be difficult to get through the Senate, get through the House, and to get signed by Biden.
Right. I mean, but the beef. Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
With that, they need to start it earlier. On Juneteenth, why not have each of these laws enacted? So these government workers, one, need to work for us, the people, you know, the ones who actually put them in place, and they need to work throughout the year so that on June 19th, every single year, one of these laws is being passed, or not being passed, but goes into full effect.
It's a great idea.
This is a systemic issue.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with her 100%, man. But like I said, I think it's easier said than done.
But is it easier said than done because it doesn't want to be done, or because it can't be done?
I don't think it can be done. I just don't think it can be done. Not the way that the U.S. government is set up. Not the way politics are played.
I'm gonna tell you why it can be done. One word: COVID. All those stimulus checks we didn't have money for, all of a sudden somebody raised enough money to give us what, 3 or 4 stimulus checks.
Yeah.
It got the money for it. It can be done. It's because it doesn't want to be done. Now there's a bill on the floor of the Senate right now, the George Floyd bill that they're trying to pass.
Yeah.
Where people are saying, Biden, hasn't passed anything yet. Well, Biden is not alone in this. Biden has to get the Senate to pass, but they're holding that from being passed right now. It's probably going to hit a filibuster. If it hasn't hit a filibuster yet, it's probably going to take a while for that to ever be passed. I know they're going to have to make some amendments to it before they even try to vote on it again. But in this case, I won't say, because I know I'll hear a lot of people say, I won't say this is Biden's fault yet. He's tried to get something passed, but they're holding it back right now.
I mean, they got other stuff passed.
In the Obama administration, there was a lot of things that could have been passed, but he doesn't have the power to do that. He has to go through Senate to do that first.
I understand.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank
Keep hope alive, Happy Juneteenth.
Always late, just like black people. That's the only thing I think is stopping back, man. Is not they don't have the means. Reparations could have been done if they really want.
But how do you want reparations? Do you want a check? Do you want 40 acres and a mule? Like, what do you want?
There's so many things to be. Kind of what she was saying before. One way, let's eliminate student debt. Eliminate student debt. Maybe we can't get 40 acres anymore, but we can get some kind of land.
But do you want the land, or do you want the land to be put aside for something for our community? Because I think that a lot of people I want a check. I want the land. I want it as in a personal thing. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. What I believe can happen is we have land dedicated to, I don't know, other HBCUs and black banking and things like that. But I just don't see waking up one day and black people are getting land and money and checks deposited into their accounts. Not the way our government is set up. It's not the way.
Like the Indians?
I mean, like the Indians. And they're taking the land back from the Indians. So, I mean, is that really going to work?
Right. I could go with that. I want things that would actually build up in value, like for each person. Like if you want to give us a certain amount of loans without having to have a high interest rate, or pay back at all, business loans, that's something.
But a buddy of mine named Star, what he says is just clean up our credit.
Yeah.
Just eliminate all our debt, and he good with that. Don't give me no money. Don't give me no land. Just give me the perfect credit score and let me start over.
Right.
I can sign on for that.
800 or higher credit score. I'm good with that. Yeah. And give me a loan.
Oh, yeah.
No, I want it all.
I get it. I'm trying to think realistically. I mean, I guess that's my pushback on it is like we have to be realistic. And with the way things are going now, and this is something that you wanted to discuss, I guess we can jump into it. What has the Biden administration done for African Americans outside of Happy Juneteenth, where you have the transgenders? And I'm not against transgender LGBT community, not against that at all. But I think Biden flipped over a Trump ruling of allowing transgenders into the military. Pen, stroke of the pen. He had, I think, 8 or 9 Asian women were killed in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of weeks later, stroke of the pen. Something was there for them. We get a stroke of a pen for Juneteenth.
Did anybody oppose it?
The Juneteenth bill? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was. I kind of want to look it up because I'm sitting in front of a computer. I think it was like 30 votes said nay on the Juneteenth bill. So, I mean, I don't think it's realistic because of stuff like that, man.
Well, I think to your point, if no one didn't oppose Juneteenth, it's because it was to pacify us for now. I looked up something when the civil rights make sure I got that right. The Civil Rights Act. I think it was the Civil Rights Act. Voting right was being passed. And when they tried to get that passed, there was a filibuster done from Strom Thurmond. You know, as a filibuster, they can just talk and prevent something getting passed and then
getting done.
Right. Strom Thurmond has the record for the longest filibuster, which is like 24 hours. The dude, he talked about everything but what the bill was supposed to be passed. Yeah.
Well, it was
strong opposition to that.
It was 14 people that voted against Juneteenth becoming a national holiday.
Okay, so overwhelmingly, people voted for that.
Yeah, people voted for it. But I'm saying, man, like, I get the reparations, I get all of that, but I just don't see it happening because we don't have anything yet. Right. All the promises that was made along the campaign, like, I'm kind of into politics. I'm not gonna say I'm all in, but I'm kind of into politics. And I went to vote and at a community center right up the block from my house, and the guy stopped me and was like, "Hey," and I'm an Elizabeth Warren fan through and through, Elizabeth Warren 100%. And so I went and pressed my vote for Elizabeth. And as I'm walking out, black guy standing there with a camera. I think he works for the news station. He was like, "Hey, man, I got Biden on the way over here. You want to take a picture with him?" Hell no, I don't want to take a picture with him, man. I don't want to meet Joe. Because the history of Joe, and we know Joe plays politics. Right. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not saying stop the vote. But what I am saying is Donald Trump did more for black people than Joe Biden has done so far.
Well, he's only not even been a year yet, man.
But how was he preaching on his run? Yeah. He was eating fish and grits down in Columbia, South Carolina, taking pictures with your grandma. I'm gonna get it right.
What's wrong with fish and grits now?
Ain't nothing wrong with fish and grits, but when you're making promises over fish and grits, and you almost at your 100th day, and all I got is a holiday,
yeah,
I have a problem with that.
You know what's going to be more remembered? Probably that Juneteenth holiday versus things that Trump did. And the thing is with that is, there was some things that Trump did under the guise of trying to get black voters to vote for him.
It's a business. He ran it like a business. Black unemployment rate went up 80 million, I think, to HBCUs was Trump. He had those opportunity zones.
Now, the unemployment, though, that was because of bills passed by Obama, though. That happened to retroactively pass and work during his administration. So it looks like on the outside that it was under him, but it was because of something that happened years ago. Because rules and laws don't just change.
Yeah, right in the moment. I get it. They can, though, because we got an Asian hate bill and we got transgenders back in the military. So it can happen that fast.
Okay.
I'm not a Trump supporter. Again, I'm not. I just want to say that I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just saying things can be done for African Americans, and this Juneteenth holiday is a band-aid over a broken leg to me.
Okay, let's jump on the Asian bill. See, the Asian hate bills. Yeah, you're right. That got passed quick, fast, in a hurry. Yeah. That problem came about pretty much early this year. Kind of started a little bit late last year. Asians dealing with bullying from people who believe they started the whole coronavirus thing. Yeah. I get that. Totally get that. Hey, let's pass this bill and let's protect them. That's not even a full year. We're talking about 400 years or so of hate to black people.
You see why I'm so skeptical about it, man? Because a year, eight women died.
Right.
A year later, we got a whole bill. We got every billboard in America saying stop Asian hate, from Twitter to Facebook to Instagram, everything in between at the very top. Mm-hmm. But we've had countless George Floyd situations happen. Mm-hmm. And we get Juneteenth.
Yeah. Okay. You know why that probably happened, though? Because Asian people are more together than black people are.
Okay. Now you're talking.
They know how to control the economic status of their community. They know how to withhold funds. And also, here's what I told somebody else the other day. They told me, well, they passed the Asian hate bill in no time. I like, well, you know why? Because when you think of Asians coming together, you don't think of just Asians in America. You think of Asians from Asia. Yeah. Not a stereotype. All Asians are the same, but Chinese people stick with Chinese people in America too. Japanese people, if they get harmed here, you got to talk to Japan. You got to talk to them. African Americans get hurt here. Africans like, ain't none of us. Ain't none of our business. Fuck them.
And to speak on that, I read an article where they were saying that that's the reason why the Asian hate bill passed so quickly. It's because of our relationship with that nation.
Right.
It's kind of like, we got y'all. Calm down. We'll take care of your people in America. And it doesn't sit right with me. I don't hate anyone, but it just doesn't sit right with me with all the protests and everything that was going on last year, over 2020, with the pandemic, and all we get is Juneteenth.
I'm gonna tell you another issue, and I said this was going to happen, and it seems like it's coming to place. I said during the time where everyone was home, they had nothing to do but watch news 24/7. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. They saw all these shootings, and they had to sit through it, and they had to mentally check themselves or not. And this made people angry and said, we got to do something about this. This is where you saw a rash of protests, people burning buildings, businesses, even to the point that they attacked a police station after one of the shootings, George Floyd shooting, right? And people started going back to work. When the NBA finals started to come back on, when the NFL started to come back on, that started to quiet down. You didn't hear people as much protesting. When's the last time you've seen a huge protest this year? We've had a few shootings this year.
I would say it was one last night. A guy was beat up pretty bad by the Rock Hill police. And that probably hit your news station too, because you're right there in North Carolina. Right. But the police beat up on a guy in Rock Hill, and I think they set fire to some trees or something in front of the police station in Rock Hill. But you're right, man. Once the world opened back up, for lack of words, people stopped paying as much attention to it.
Pacifying. We got pacified, whether by work, NBA finals, Aunt Jemima getting changed. Her whole name got changed.
That's weird. It sounds more racist now than anything.
Right.
It's like some kind of plantation. It sounds like a plantation.
You had to get rid of a black woman to satisfy us. That sound counts backwards, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
You had to get rid of Aunt Jemima, the black woman, to make us feel happy. And we didn't ask for that. Nope. No one asked for that. No one cares. We didn't care about Aunt Jemima changing her name or her look.
Nope. It's just cert.
Yeah. That don't change whether I get beaten back of the head with a billy club or shot. Like, oh shit, I'm not gonna be on the floor. Like, oh shit, this cop has beat me, but at least we got rid of the name Aunt Jemima. We got good cert now. I'm not gonna be thinking about that at that time of moment.
How do you feel about when you mentioned the police beating up on folks? How do you feel about the people that say disrespect the cops and it won't happen to you?
It's excuses, because that's not always how it works. Disrespect the cops, and that's like the same people used to tell me when I grew up, don't mess with them wasps, and they won't mess with you. And that works sometimes. Oh, yeah. I've been stung a whole hell of a lot. It's not my own damn business.
My mind of your business. I mean, I've tried to have a conversation with a person that has that belief, and they made some valid points by saying, this has never happened. They asked me, have you ever been beat up, drugged down by the police doing something that you had, like basically obeying the law? And I was like, no, not obeying the law. So that was their main point to me. If you're obeying the law and doing what you're supposed to do, it doesn't happen to you. Okay. And I try to respect people's opinions, but that's all they had for me.
Okay, I'll fire back on that. Okay. Let's say someone does get pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt.
Okay.
Oh, let's go even lesser form. Let's say they get pulled over, brake light is out. And they're like, oh man, this is messed up. You pulling me over for a brake light. And they try to run away from, because they like, I'm gonna get in trouble. This is my grandma's car. I'm not supposed to be driving it. I'm gonna get a ticket. They run away. They get shot. You telling me a brake light, it costs about $2-3 is worth a person's life?
No, but this particular person that I'm speaking of was saying you should have just stopped.
That's true. I'm saying, if you were to break the law, unless you're trying to kill that guy, unless you are putting someone in harm's way, is someone's life really worth a ticket? The purpose of the cops yes, you're supposed to protect and serve. Is if someone's life is in danger. If you're trying to uphold the law, then you're supposed to be able to take them into custody, handcuffs, back of the car, put them in jail, put them in prison, and let them have their day in court.
Mhm.
They shouldn't have their day in a casket 50, 60 years earlier than they are supposed to. They should supposedly at least go to their life expectancy. Let natural causes kill them off, not a bullet.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%, man. I wanted to know what your thoughts on it was, because the person I was speaking to, they were in their feelings. They were standing on, if you obey what the law say, it won't happen to you. And the example they told me was, have you ever been harassed by the police obeying the law?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say I have been.
To me, that'd be like if your parents would have killed you when you just break curfew.
I get it. It's extreme.
Show up on time. If you had just listened to the rules, your dad wouldn't have stabbed you and killed you. It's your fault. Don't you think he overreacted just a little bit?
Definitely.
You know,
so are you with the defunding the police? Like defunding it completely? Okay.
No, I'm not. I do think that is one of the dumbest things in the world, is to defund the police. Because who are you going to get to protect us?
Now, hold on. Defunding, not taking them to zero.
Yeah.
But there's a small town right outside of Greenville, goes by the name of Fountain Inn, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. They have, I mean, it's a skip of a rock and you're out of Fountain Inn, basically. And I love Fountain Inn, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But they have military grade trucks and armored tanks in this little ass town.
Right.
Those funds could have went toward schools, healthcare, reparations. It could have went towards somewhere else. So cutting the budget, not cutting the complete police department. That's what I mean.
I'll say redistribute how you train the cops. You don't need these high artillery type weapons for a traffic stop. Put it into the training of these cops. Sensitivity training.
Yeah.
Redistribute the money. I won't say defund. Maybe there's too much on some places you can skim, but no, I would say redistribute how these cops are supposed to protect and serve.
Do you have cops in your family? Or close to you?
Not police officers, no.
Okay.
Not any. I used to, but they're retired now.
A lot of people that have your stance on it have a cop as a family member, or they're married into the family and they have a cop that they're really close to. Mm-hmm. Because most African-American people will simply say defund, and they're talking about stripping the police department to nothing and starting from scratch. And you're right. Who's going to protect us, I guess you would say.
And those are the same people that said nobody protects us. So, I mean, how they will say black men don't protect us. So how in the world are you going to ask that to happen all of a sudden?
All of a sudden.
Now we're going to be good to protect y'all. Y'all didn't believe us before. So now you think we're going to protect them. Now, if this was you're talking about, okay, if you want to do something, bring back the Black Panthers. Then that was a form of protection for black people.
Okay.
Give them some money, reform the Black Panthers, and before they get corrupted again and then broken apart. But that's another story for another day.
You got the Nation as well.
Nation now. The Nation is serious now.
Right, yeah.
They don't need no funding. If you give the Nation of Islam a tank, boy, they will take over this country in the next 24 hours.
Just like that. Yeah. I was telling my girlfriend the other day, I was like, the only people I fear is God and the Nation of Islam. That is it. That is it, man. But the way they're organized, the way they put stuff together, right. But it's a threat. They're seen as a threat. The Black Panther Party be seen as a threat. I mean, I want change. I want things to happen, but I also have to keep in my mind that it has to be something that's realistic.
Yeah.
We can't go screaming, I want a check, I want 40 acres, and I want a mule. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And I think another disconnection that we have, and we went way off Juneteenth, sorry about that, but another disconnect that we have is people don't go to the polls. They don't vote. And I get it. My vote don't count and all this, that, and the third. But to me, Georgia is a perfect example of why you should go to the poll.
Okay.
Georgia was flipped from red to blue. We got Minister Warnock, and I'm mad I can't remember the other fella's name right now. But we got the state flipped to blue, and it just shows that if we band together and go to the poll, things can change. Like you said, a law is not going to change something overnight, but that slow drip of a change will create a puddle by the end of the day, and we can get what we want. And I think the African American community, they don't care about voting. They don't want to vote. It's pointless. My vote don't mean nothing. And now that laws are becoming stricter, and you mentioned the Native Americans earlier, these the laws that they're trying to pass in Georgia for voting are saying that you need a certain type of ID with your address and things on it. You know, the Native Americans, when they stay on their reservations, they don't have that type of thing. So their vote is stripped away from them. So I say all that to say Georgia is a perfect example of why we should go to the poll. We flipped Georgia, and it has them on their heels, signing all kind of crooked bills and trying to do all these things to stop us from voting. That shows you that voting works. I mean, did you vote?
I voted.
Okay. I thought you was one of those folks, man. I was finna say, Big Red, come on now, man.
I voted. People might be surprised who I voted for, but I voted.
Hold on, man. What you?
I'm not gonna reveal who I voted for.
I'm Elizabeth Warren all day, man. The way she talks about just the income and the wealth of our nation and redistributing that wealth, I'm with her 100%. And she has a plan for everything. Mm-hmm. And I worked on her campaign, so I can say that too. But she has a plan. She has a plan.
It got him. That's why he voted.
She has a plan, man. She really has a plan for everything. I wish that we could have done more in the South for her to show our appreciation for her. But, you know, Biden had a sign that said Biden is good for SC, and that's what happened.
Yeah, well, Biden also said if you don't vote for him, you ain't black.
You ain't black. Yeah.
I told you who I would have voted for if she ran for president.
Who?
The incomparable Sherry Berry. You know who the hell I'm talking about too, don't you?
Why you say that?
Because, man, look at it. I ain't never had an accident. I ain't never been shot by the police in the elevator. So, I mean, it's got to be something, man, about her. It's got to be something about her, man, that makes elevators just work so pristine-like that I think she could make the country run like smooth water down a river, man. I would vote for Sherry Berry in a heartbeat.
Explain who Sherry Berry is for everybody that don't know.
Man, that's the safety person of all the elevators, man. The lady with the glasses. Man, everybody know, man. But man, when I saw him, let me tell you something. When I went into the elevator and I saw her picture wasn't up there, I took the stairs. And my leg was hurting. I just did leg day that day. I took the stairs. You understand? I trust Sherry Berry. Like, you know how black people always used to have like Martin Luther King pictures, John F. Kennedy? I would have Martin Luther King and Sherry Berry in my house if I could find a 8x10 picture of her. That's how much I trust that white woman. I love her. She's the best, man. You just don't understand.
I'm with you on that, man. What you doing next year for Juneteenth though? Like, what's the big plan? We going shopping?
We'll see. You know, that was another thing I was trying to figure out. Like, what's going to be the things that you do on Juneteenth? Like I was mentioning earlier, 4th of July is fireworks and barbecuing, you know, whatever. What's going to be the thing for Juneteenth? What to do
when we first started talking, and you said the topic was going to be Juneteenth. I went on my Instagram and on Juneteenth and said, "What are you doing to celebrate Juneteenth?" And I picked 4 of those answers to bring to you.
Okay.
One person simply said, "I'm celebrating more life." Mm-hmm. Another guy said, "I just dropped a project and I don't give a fuck about Juneteenth." Another person said, "I'm going to get a haircut, going to get a facial, I'm gonna eat me an edible, chill, smoke, dinner, smoke, drink. Nothing much."
So
a regular
Saturday.
Yeah. And the best one that I have here is from a guy named Troop. He said, "I'm educating the kids on what today really is about."
I'll get the best.
It seems like mixed answers. I don't think we know what to do, but I think because this is the first year, we're the first people, the first generation to have this, we have to shape what it is. we have to shape what we're going to do.
I think it sounds like the other guys is like, man, this shit ain't real. This is gonna be gone next year. This shit ain't real. Somebody like it's a family reunion.
Trump gonna get back in and sign it right off. Like, nah, we don't need that.
I don't think he would do that. I think he would probably add on to it if anything. I don't think he would
make it a little bit more spicy. But whitewashing it. The whitewash for next year. Like I said, the Old Navy sales. Are you shopping at Old Navy if they get you a Juneteenth? You get some flip-flops?
I don't own a pair of flip-flops.
You own the Crocs, man?
Nah, hell no.
I don't either. I just want to ask.
Rock.
What about like the big city festivals? Like Greenville. I live in Greenville, for example. Greenville had the big Juneteenth thing downtown at the Peace Center. Mm-hmm. Are you okay with going to the city thrown Juneteenth events?
I am. If I like it if it's celebrating the success of the culture. I don't want to see shit reverting back to what happened during slavery. I don't want to see that. See, okay, here's another thing I was going to bring up. This is another thing that I'm glad I think is starting to finally go out of style. Mm-hmm. Slave movies. For a while, that's all we had was slave movies.
But
it goes in cycles. It goes in cycles. Like the early 90s, we had gangster movies.
Okay.
It was cycles. At Juice, Boys in the Hood, South Central. I can name a whole lot of them. Then we're in another cycle where we had a whole bunch of slave movies. Like, okay, cycle was here, and it just kept going and going and going. I'm like, okay, we get it. We were subservient to y'all. We don't need to see that. Can we see something else? So,
whoa. So you okay with that Idris Elba concrete cowboy that was on Netflix?
I just heard about that today. I haven't seen a preview of it, nothing, man.
I don't want to see that shit. I mean, that stuff, man. I don't want to see that. I would rather see 12 Years a Slave than Concrete Cowboy with Idris Elba.
What's it about? I don't know. So what's it about?
I don't want to give the whole thing away if people haven't seen it, but there's cowboys that live in the inner city still. Like to the point where they have this block. I can't remember what town it's in.
Modern day? You mean like modern day?
No, I mean like they have horses in a stable in the middle of like Philly. And they sit around a fire and they carry it's full-blown cowboy. And people were saying like we want to see more of this type of movie. I'm like, I don't. I would rather see a slave movie than see a black cowboy Idris Elba. I'm just saying, man. I don't. The movie's trash.
Do you remember the movie Posse?
No.
Mario Van Peebles, Sally Richardson.
I don't.
Quite a few.
You'll maybe go back and watch it too.
Big Daddy Kane was in it. The rapper.
I never seen that.
Wow. That was the 90s. That was like 95, I think.
It's on Stars, so I'll check it out.
Damn, you looked it up quick.
Yeah, I gotta see it. If you mentioned it, I gotta watch it, man.
Yeah, man, that was good. That wasn't modern times. That was like 1800s, I believe. But black cowboys, which that doesn't get talked about enough. There was a lot of black cowboys during that era, but
yeah, it was.
That got washed away in a lot of movies, and you don't see that. I'm just tired of it, man. It's like, okay, there's a new show on now. Underground, I think it's called. Underground Railroad.
I'm not watching that.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. No. And what did they have before that? A couple years ago, Underground. That was another one.
What do you think about the spinoff that what's the guy doing? It was on HBO. It's like a horror movie set back in like I can't think of the name of it. It's either Key or Peele did it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, I can't think of the name of that movie.
I think I know Them. I think it's called Them. Was it Them?
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can look it up real quick, man.
I think that's what you're talking about.
My girlfriend watched it like religiously. And I'm like, it's just it's what Jordan Peele does.
Yeah.
It's like the black story and spins it into something horror. Do you like most of his films that he puts out?
How many has he got? I mean, I know Get Out. I didn't like Us.
Yeah, Us is another one that he has.
I didn't like Us. I got what he was trying to do, but nah, that was. I love Get Out. I'm trying
Get
to
Out
think
was
of
fun, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another one he's got.
Let me see. I can't even find the TV show. Now I'm so mad I'm blanking on this TV show.
Sure, it's not them.
It's not them. It was something. It had a longer title to it, man. Ah, man, I can't remember the name of that movie.
Did you watch them?
Show. No, what was them about?
Okay. It was about this family in 1953 a black family that immigrated from North Carolina and tried to live in Compton. Right. So Compton was all white then. There's a lot. I don't want to give away the whole thing, but I did not particularly like the show because it seems like it's trying to get ratings off of black pain. And there was a lot of black pain in there. I mean, there was people torturing in there. There was a scene in there where a baby was killed. And I don't mean like done quickly and it was over. It was like over the course of a few minutes, the baby was being killed. And it was like, it made me sick to my stomach.
I'm good on that one.
Yeah, that was like episode 5 or 6.
Lovecraft Country.
Oh, yeah.
You like that show?
I like that show. I did like that show.
Okay. I wasn't a fan of that one.
Yeah. Well, see, that one, I don't feel that one was all about black pain. There was some black positivity in there.
Okay.
That made, black people look great in there. Made black people look smart. Black people using magic. Not that I care, but it just showed us from a different perspective besides just being weak. I don't like things that show us just being weak and that's it. That's all a slave movie to me shows.
Well, no, at the end they get away.
I get it.
At the end, they follow the North Star, and Harriet gets them through the Undertown.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, 12 years a slave. I mean, he still looked weak in it. He got away, but it's like, he still just looked like a weakling. Like, oh, I'm so glad I got away. But
I would still watch that over that Idris Elba movie, man.
I got something you talking about.
Somebody, in the comments they said it was celebrated black cowboys in America and their plight in the inner city. The city was Detroit. It's on Netflix, man. Go ahead and waste your time.
No, I'll tell you the biggest waste of time I saw for any black movie was that movie, John Henry.
Yep, that was with Ludacris in it, right?
That was like
I seen Ludacris have some kind of like face thing. Cut it off.
Yeah.
I'm not rolling with Ludacris.
That's 90 minutes I will never get back.
You watched the whole thing?
I had to review it, man, just to tell people how horrible it was. Yeah. Yes, I did.
I'm sorry for the time you lost.
Like, there's movies that you can watch and just laugh at how horrible it is. This wasn't one of them. This was just a bad movie. Mostly Tyler Perry movies, I can like see how horrible they are, and like I can laugh and see, because the wigs are horrible, the acting may be horrible, but nah, this movie was just bad.
It was worse than Tyler Perry movies?
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's pretty low because Tyler Perry movies are trash. Tyler Perry movies set us back.
See,
I'd rather watch 12 Years a Slave than a Tyler Perry movie. I'd rather watch Roots than a Tyler Perry movie. And I've never seen Roots a day in my life, but I'll watch that before Tyler Perry.
See, they remade Roots.
Did they?
They made it with T.I. in it the second time ago.
I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that.
Tell you.
I'm definitely not watching Roots with T.I., man.
And T.I.
Hey, Shawty, we gotta run. Hey,
T.I. was gonna get killed. Like, why? How you know these big words, T.I.? You've been reading. I'm like, nah, damn. See, you're a bad person to play this role. You're not supposed to sound that way.
I would have cut the TV off, man. I'm not doing T.I. and Roots.
Man, yeah. But see, I feel like that's a way of pacifying us, giving us these slave movies instead of giving us something that uplifts us.
So what you want to see? Like, give me a blockbuster hit with a white cast that you would think would be great with a black cast.
Why I gotta have them up there?
I'm just saying, like, what type of movie do you want to see?
It's so many things, man.
I'm a Harry Potter fan. I want to see a black Harry Potter movie, like an all black Hogwarts. I'm all in. That's just me.
You can't celebrate Juneteenth no more, man. Being a Harry Potter fan.
What you mean? Okay, that's fine. I mean, I got the 4th of July right around the corner. two weeks later, I'm all right. I got the 4th.
No, I'll be honest. I never seen all of the Harry Potter films, nor the Lord of the Rings.
I ain't never seen Lord of the Rings.
I don't have that kind of time.
You want a black Lord of the Rings? Like, what you want to see?
I'll take that. Yeah, okay. Black Love Country, Lovecraft Country. I'm saying it wrong. Lovecraft Country. That could somehow turn into a Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Or yeah, something like that. It can be done. I mean, superhero films. I mean, shoot.
We got Hancock. You ain't happy with Hancock?
Yeah, it was all right. We got one. That was a one-off, and they were done with it. You know, we got Black Panther.
Got Blank Man.
Who?
Blank, is it Blank? You got Blank Man. Blank Man, Black Panther, Hancock.
I'm so mad that you know what that movie is. Not Blank Man. Wait up, J5. Wait up.
So we need more black superhero movies, more black, I guess, fictional Lord of the Rings. What else you got, man?
There got to be a person that we can talk about that is not fictional. Some historic figure. It don't even have to be from America. It could be from Africa. It could be somebody who did something in Europe somewhere. There's somebody out there. I just can't think of all of them at the top of my head right now. There's so many stories to be told. All we do is repeat the same stories anyway. Everybody's rebooting and redoing the same stories. We're due to have something new to pop up and be, great, something great out here.
Black Lightning. What you think about Black Lightning?
Black Lightning's all right.
It's all right. It's difficult to get through at times, but it's all right.
I'm more of a fan of the bad guy.
I know his name and I can't
Tobias.
Tobias Well.
I love him. Him
and Lala. Lala is my favorite character on that show, man.
Tobias is like, to me, the best bad guy out there. To me, he just got the look, the voice, the demeanor. I like him out there. There's so many things. Oh shit! Somebody said Black Lightning is trash. Come on, man. We don't have many on TV, man. It's on the CW network, man. Give it a chance.
But that's the thing. Like his wife, that's a whole other show. His wife is just like, she pisses me off from beginning to end. Yeah, I could do without her. I didn't even know how they did in Fresh Prince when they switched the wives. I need a wife switch. Black Lightning ASAP. Give me a light skinned wife.
Yeah,
that's what I needed. That one.
She was annoying. She was like, I don't want you to go out there and get hurt, but at the same time, don't go out there and get hurt. I'm like, do you want me to save the world or not? No. Yes. I'm like, oh my God, come on.
A buddy of mine said she ain't nothing but a straight crackhead. And after she said that to me the other night, I watched the show back and was like, yeah, she got crackhead tendencies. Think about it. Next time you watch Black Lightning, think of her, think of your favorite crackhead for plot. And then look at her, you're gonna be like, yeah, man, she's a straight bona fide crackhead.
John Clement said he will always be Scooter from Living Single. Yeah, I see that.
I just found that out. It was him.
I couldn't believe that was him when I got on the show. Like, wow, I know I've seen him from somewhere. I'm like, Living Single. Like, dude finally got a job. Like Calvin, he got another job. He finally advanced. Speaking of old girl from Black Lightning, this is a perfect segue to the next and last topic.
Okay.
Recently, I had a meme where I posted. I'm paraphrasing my own self because I don't remember what I said. I'm probably tired. But the meme was, guys are cool with love, but we would rather have peace. Sometimes those two don't go together. And the reason I said that is some people were, going against that and saying, well, no, love is supposed to bring you peace. It's supposed to bring you peace either way. So I'm like, no. I know a lot of people who are in love, but are also in constant turmoil. I know a lot of people are in love, and their girlfriend or boyfriend has a jealous eye, and they're constantly, wondering where they're at and worrying them. Now they may do love them. It may be a bad way to show they love them, but it's still love. Peace. As I've gotten older, I prefer peace because you got to deal with work and what work brings to you every day, which usually isn't peace. When you come home, love can start an argument with you and just make your day horrible.
Horrible, yeah.
And it may make up later on, but I prefer to have peace. I prefer to come in with peace and the food's ready. I come in the house with peace and we're having a great conversation about something. I prefer to have peace to ask me how my day is and somehow make me feel like, okay, it's going to be all right after this. That doesn't always go together with love. It should, but it doesn't. When you're young, love just looks different. Say when you get in arguments and stuff like that, you know why I argue with you like that? I only argue with you like that because I love you. I don't argue with nobody else like that. And there's some people that's even worse, like I only hit you like that because I love you.
That may be
a messed up way to look at it.
That's wild.
Different cultures, different people, raised up in different homes, whatever. That's bad, but I prefer to have at this age peace over love. If I can have peace and love secondary, I'll take it. What's your thoughts and stance on that?
I would rather have them together. I would rather have
You can't.
No. I would rather have them together. I mean, because like you said, love is supposed to bring you peace. And they kind of go hand in hand. That's why I want them together. But if I had to choose between the two, I would say, oh man, peace.
Because there's countries who hate each other. They don't love each other, but they sign peace treaties, don't mess with each other.
And everybody good. Yeah, you're right. Good. I got to go with peace. I would rather have peace over love because like you said, just the peace of mind is it's amazing. Like you said, you come home from a hard day at work and it's peaceful in your home. That can change your whole attitude for the weekend, for the next day. But if there's no peace at home and there's love at home that's getting on your nerves and, the cornbread a little burnt, the bottom of it because it was in the oven too long,
You hate that? You got to use a butter knife to shave that off?
You got to pick it up from the bottom of the pan. That's just not what I want. But I would have to go with peace, man. I think having a peace of mind is the best thing for me. Love is supposed to bring peace, though. So I'm kind of torn, man. The more I think about it, the more
supposed to.
Yeah, love is supposed to bring you peace. Like your loved ones, your children, your old lady, your old man, however you want to mix that up, they're supposed to bring you peace.
Mm-hmm.
So
even your kids. I mean, just think about it, man. Your kids, they love you, unconditionally, but sometimes they're gonna mess up.
Yeah.
And they might, take your car for a joyride and crash into a tree.
Come on.
So the last thing you want to hear when you come home that your car has hit a tree and you got to pay that huge deductible, man.
But you have a peace of mind on your kid, okay?
No, they're not gonna be okay because I'm about to.
You got a point.
I don't want to say it on air, but yeah, I'm about to, take. There's a belt maybe involved, or switch that we broke the tree off of with. I might have to take that.
And you're gonna possibly say, "I'm doing this because I love you."
Right. Now, see, perfect example. Now, did that love bring you peace when they tell you like it's gonna hurt you more than it hurts me, or reverse, it's gonna hurt me more than it hurts you? Did that bring you peace when that instrument of destruction hit them cheeks?
No,
that was not peace. I don't care how much they say that it's gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. Really? Really?
You're right, man. You're right. I think my final answer would be peace, though, man. I'd rather have peace. I think I'd rather just have peace and they can call it a day. Peace sounds so peaceful.
Right. Anytime. Ain't no time I've ever said, you know what, Dad, you're right. Give me the love.
Let me feel the love.
Peace? A piece of my behind gonna fall off. I ain't gonna be able to sit down at school the next day. Who wants that kind of peace?
I don't want that kind of peace.
And keep that out of the way. I'm sure Tina Turner would prefer peace.
And all I want her to do is eat the cake, man.
All she had to do was eat the damn cake. That cake was looking good too. I'm like, what's the problem? Eat the cake. Tina,
Eat the cake out of me. Just eat it.
What's the problem? And I'm pretty sure that lady that got hit right after she refused that cake, she would have preferred peace.
Should have preferred peace, yeah.
Right. Take a piece of cake. Anime.
The way you're lining this up, it gotta be peace. There's no way for love to survive when it's going up against peace.
God, mighty. Oh boy. Okay. So we're gonna end it on this note. And we're gonna bring peace to the ending of this show. I appreciate everybody that came and joined into the show. And for calling in. And let me see what this. Let me pop back up right here. John Clement for giving us some enlightening information about Black Lightning. And Scooter for living single. Appreciate the comment on the show. This has been Hostile Therapy. Thanks everybody for showing up. And we will see you on the next podcast, which will be next Thursday at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Peace out.